Welcome to Judge Me Not, a safe place to have real conversations with real ass people. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to Judge Me Not. I am your host, MVD, and today we're going to talk about going back. Yeah, going back. Um, so when I say going back, I mean to relationships. I had a therapy session and it was really good. I'm pro therapy, guys. I mean, at a point in life, at a certain age, you gotta just take accountability for being fucked up and not continue to have excuses for why you're fucked up, but actually start doing the work to understand why you are the way you are and why you respond and do things the way you do. So, especially for my minorities, if you feel like you need additional help, figure out a way to get assistance to aid in your mental health. Physical health is just as important as mental health. So moving along, we're going to talk about why we go back. So I went to my therapist and she basically asked me, why do I go back? Why do I go back to relationships that serve me no purpose? Relationships that at one point I decided I had to move away from for whatever reason. Why do I circle back and revisit those relationships? So, my response to her was because it's easy, it's convenient, it's safe. It's easier for me to go back and deal with the same shit versus me getting to know someone new and discovering their new shit and tolerating that. It's easier for me to have sexual relations with someone that I have a history with versus, I don't know, dating, having sex, not work out, build up your body count. I guess you could be abstinent, but that's your business, not mine. So, I'm giving her my spiel and she stops me in my tracks and she basically says, um, that's not a valid excuse. And I need for you to really think about why you're going back because that just seems like you're okay with settling. And if you're okay with settling, then there's no reason for you to continue on this self love journey or trying to heal. What's the purpose? How can I work on myself and go back to the things that contributed in the brokenness of me, right? Which was really good. Um, so then she goes on to say that most people in their childhood who feel like they did not have an abundance of love or um, a sense of safety or comfort from their parents or just in general, as we grow up and we get into relationships, we often tend to love in a self sacrificial manner, right? Not only that, we tend to attract people who share that same void. So once we deal with people who have the same void of just wanting to be loved and wanting to be made whole and to feel safe, we learn their struggles as we give them ours and we feel obligated to this person. Like our sense of loyalty to them is on a self sacrificial level because we really understand how they feel, what they've been through, and more importantly, what they need because they're a reflection of us and our trauma. So even when we move on, because we've made the choice to want something better, to desire something better, to work on obtaining something better, once these people come back, or we have a sense of failure in our change, or loneliness, we find the habit of going back simply because we find comfort in knowing that they need our love. Does that make sense? So she ends up explaining that when you go back to that person, you give them power, power over you and power over your future. Once you vow to want something better and you cut it off with them and you return, you've acknowledged that they have a power over you. They have a power to redirect your path that leads straight back to them. So, what we can do is to continue to go back to these relationships that serve us no purpose and then play victim because we willingly gave them the power and we willingly chose to return. So, I was like, dang, you ain't got to be all in my business like that and calling me out. You might have a point. Like, why am I really going back? So I'm reading this book by Iyanla Vanzant, and it's called Acts of Faith, and it's daily meditation for people of color. And there's an insert in there that says, you've got to get the mind cleared out before you can put the truth in. And it says, we fail to admit our faults, and the faults become what everyone can see, right? The only way out is the truth. So, although I gave the rehearsed response of, oh, it's comfort, it's easy. The truth is, I was settling. I have been settling. I have been stuck in this pattern of step towards healing and step back towards familiarity, right? Because it's comfort. Um, when the truth is, I'm uncomfortable when it comes to change. Not only am I uncomfortable, but the more work that I do on myself, and the further I go on my self-love journey, I start to attract healed men. I start to attract men that are ready to communicate. I start to attract men that are going to hold me accountable for my areas that I thought were healed, right? So then it makes me say, well, damn, I got a little bit more issues than I thought I had because I'm going along this journey and I'm attracting what I desire, but they're pinpointing areas in me that I need to fix, that I need to work on, that I still need to heal. So if I backtrack and I go back to what's toxic, to what I know is not serving me a purpose, it's comfortable because I know this person and they know me, and I can love them in the manner that makes me feel good, even if I'm not receiving it, because it's a trauma bond, right? So that made me do some shadow work and dig a little bit deeper because, I'm again pro mental health, but I believe in balance. I believe in the physical, the spiritual, the mental. It all has to be a balance. So I needed to dig a little deeper, right? And how I wanted to know, why do I go back? Why do I have this sense of loyalty to people who don't go above and beyond to give me the loyalty and the love that I need? And not even necessarily just in personal relationships, but in partnerships, in family relationships. Why do I go back? Why do we go back? You know? Why do we forgive when we don't see any clues of change from the person that is asking for forgiveness? We are not obligated to go back. We can forgive them and continue to move forward on our self-love journey so we can attract the things that we desire and we can reflect the things that we desire. But we don't have to go back. So I do believe in soul ties. I do believe in trauma bonds. I do believe in entanglements. I do believe in vibing on the same frequency as individuals so you connect, right? Um, so you can be so invested in someone and so connected with someone, especially if it's a trauma bond. Trauma bonds are very, 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 very addictive, very hard to get out of. And they can be very toxic if both parties refuse to address the trauma bond and work on healing together. Um, so it's an addiction. And once you choose to separate yourself from this addiction and evolved towards something healthier, that connection starts to fade. So the other party feels that energy dwindling, right? They notice a change in your reaction to them. You're no longer answering phone calls, responding to texts, interacting with their toxicity, so they acknowledge that. But the more work you do on self and the more healing you do on self, that energy connection is also starting to weaken. So there's a lot of things like some people that have trauma bonds, at least for myself, I can think of something and the individual will contact me about the same topic. Or if this individual is sick or if I'm sick, we can feel each other's sickness and we'll reach out and, without even having to say any words. Um, Again, dangerous, very dangerous. But of course, it's going to be natural once you start to pull away. Not only will your behavior change, but your energy is going to change because you're no longer vibrating on that same frequency. So they're going to feel that. And they going to pop up like a thief in the night. It's like you will work so hard to move on and you feel like you're really focused and you could be really dating in a healthier pool and it will trigger them to pop back up. And all the work that you felt like you've really done on yourself, all the new interests that you feel like you're really interested in will be questioned because this person can pop up, say the right things, ask for the right things, and you will have to choose. Am I going to commit to self and continue my self healing and my self loving journey so I can attract the type of relationship that I desire? Or do I feel obligated to give them what they need because I understand where they are? That's the choice. However, if we choose to come back, we cannot blame them for our sacrifice. We can no longer blame them for our cycles. We cannot blame them for hindrance of healthy relationships, job opportunities, family relationships. We cannot blame them for that because we've given them the power to pull us back. So you got to say, is it worth it? Is returning worth it? If I go back, I know I'm not going back because of me. I'm not, because you're not going to be able to give me anything more than you gave me once I was there. I'm going back because I'm settling. And if you're okay with settling, then that's on you. But if you want more and you really desire more, then settling is never the answer. In order to let truth in, you got to be real with self. You got to clear the mind. And the only way to clear the mind is to address the reality and move forward from it. The only way out is the truth. How much longer are you willing to sacrifice? For what? Any investment that comes back null and void is not a good investment. You continue to go back. Time doesn't stop, but you go back. You're still the same. They're still the same. So you already know the outcome. So the question is, why do we go back? Have you found comfort in settling? Are you content with staying in this pattern of good, bad? When we good, we good. When we bad, we bad. Oh, well, he just knows me and my habits, and I just know him. Girl, but it's just easier than trying to date again. I don't really feel like learning nobody. Girl, I just don't want to bring nobody around my kids. Oh, she just helped me and she really get me and she been down for me for a long time. So I feel like I just gotta, I gotta fuck with her. Whatever excuse you telling yourself, is it the truth? Is going back going to serve you a purpose that you need in order to be a better person? Has this person really changed? Or are they using you and you're allowing them to use you? These are just questions that my therapist had me asking myself. And now I'm asking y'all. Because I know I'm not the only one. You know, you can love somebody so much because of at the time that you met them in your life, right? Most trauma bonds or soul ties, you meet these people at a really trying point in your life, um, and they bring you comfort, and they bring you a moment of solitude when you're surrounded by chaos. So you love hard on this person, and it just feels good because of where you currently are. But as you grow and you evolve and you pick yourself up and you get back on track, if that person isn't aligned with you moving forward, then that's where the chaos starts. What once gave you peace is now a part of the chaos. So when we make the conscious choice to leave, easy, fuck no. Necessary, of course. Once we make these conscious choices to leave for better, better for self, better for them. Staying in toxic relationships when you want to heal is not only dangerous for you, but dangerous for that person because you are accepting their intolerable behavior. You are giving them a pass to behave inappropriately. So when you choose to leave, you choose so for the greater good. You have to remind yourself of how you felt when you left and what was your perspective once you left. If you were tired of being hurt, maybe they had a baby on you. Maybe you were tired of being embarrassed. Maybe you were tired of crying. Whatever it may be, I need you to remember that state of emotion and that thought process that you had when you chose to move that relationship. Think about that first. Then think about, why would I go back? Right? So before I get out here, I'm going to give y'all some homework. Why do I go back? It's one. Why am I okay with settling? Why am I afraid of moving forward? Why do I feel obligated to love on people who can't match my love? That's a good one. Why do you feel obligated to love on people who cannot match your love? Now, if you don't go back, and once you're done with somebody, then this ain't for you, obviously. But maybe it's not even necessarily in a relationship. Maybe you are being abused emotionally or not respected for who you are as an individual within your family. Or you're tired of being caught up in the toxicity that your family has. And you want to focus on building your own idea of family and unity. But yet, you feel guilty. You feel obligated to go back. You can honor thy mother and thy father, but still do it from a distance. You can give love, but still do it from a distance. Why do we go back? That's my time, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this message was received with the energy that it was given. Stay safe. Peace, love, and blessings. Hey guys, if y'all want to keep up with me, you can follow me on social media platforms. I'm on Twitter at Judge Me Not. Also on Instagram at Judge underscore me underscore not. Me is spelled MII. Or you can follow me at NVDENVIIDEE.